Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel about cross stitch most of the time. Every once in a while I do something else crafty, but today we are talking cross stitch. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for pressing play. I hope you like what you see and you'll hit subscribe and come back and watch. And please leave comments. I love talking with you guys and learning more about you and just creating a little Flosstube community within my, or I should say a Stitching by the Shore community within Flosstube. So feel free, never be afraid to ask a question or leave a comment if I didn't explain something or other. Very well. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time in your day to come and watch. I know there are so many Flosstubers out there, and it means a lot to me that you are taking some time to visit with me and say hello. So leave comments there too if you are a returner. You know I love to hear from you guys. Now I said last week that it would be a short video, and then I rambled on for, I don't know, 35 minutes or whatever, which I know is short for some people. This week, it really, if it isn't a quickie like in and out 20-minute video, then I really rambled because I have no finishes, I have no new starts, even my shopping was tiny. So it should be, it shouldn't be too crazy long. So if you are, with summer wanting to go out and about, or almost summer, you can watch, get some stitching done, and then move on to what you need to do. So let's go to the stitching. I chose, sometimes I have no rhyme or reason. Not sometimes, all the time. I generally don't have any rhyme or reason as to what patterns I show whip-wise, works in progress. But this week I was ironing them this morning, and I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go small to big. So that's how you're getting them today. The first one is September Cottage from Cottage Needleworks. If you are new to me, I am stitching all 12 of these for an eventual gift for my mom. Her birthday was this month, and we did get, have I seen you since? No, we did get a chance to visit with her on Sunday, which is really nice. We brought a little table because we got a little cake and some chairs, and we all separated ourselves and sang happy birthday and just had a nice visit for a little while. So what I'm doing with these, I'm not sure yet, but and I haven't been out and about to find what to do with them because I have July done, July and August, and that's how I'm working. So when I get out and can finish them somehow or other, then I'll start giving them to my mom. This is what I have. Now this is on the back side of Country Vintage Mocha. That's the front. This one has no variations in color, and it's a little bit lighter, a little bit more beigey. I'm doing all of them on this. It's 18 count. If you're new, everything you see is 18 count. So I won't keep saying that, but just assume that it is if I'm showing it to you. This, it was funny. I worked on this, what I thought was a decent amount of stitching time. So I'm kind of surprised that I don't have this farther along, because the last week the top was zipping along. I had the top and part of the tree. I don't know, doing all those apples separately. And then of course, houses, houses are beasts, but my goal was, I would have thought to finish this by next week, but I'm not thinking so. I think my goal is to get the house done. If I can get the house, and then there's a little bushel of apples, I guess you'd call it, there. And then all I'd have left would be the bottom border. So I guess that's my goal, is to finish the house. And you know me and houses. So, I mean, it's a cute little stitch. The house is tall as opposed to some of their other ones, but there's no shutters or anything like that. So there's even less color changes, but for whatever reason, it didn't go quite as fast as I thought it was. But that's where we are so far. It's looking cute. I'm liking it. I think she's gonna like these in the end. Those are the kinds of things that she likes, and she likes to have knick-knacky and decorative and all that kind of thing. So I think that would be something that she'd really like. Second, we have Halloween Cat from Satsuma Street. Every time I stitch this, I love She charts in bright, bold colors. The symbols are easy to distinguish and read, and I have to say, it's my first Satsuma, and every time I do it, I'm like, I love stitching this pattern. I love being able to read this pattern and see this pattern, because I'm always so amazed. It's not a huge piece, but the pattern is a good size. Like, she's really enlarged it, and it's so easy to see that it's just one of my favorites to stitch. This is done on a blue-gray fabric by Garibaldis. And my goal, I was silly. Well, when I started this pat last week, I didn't have the pumpkin, and I was way up here with the cat, I think up here. So I had a choice. I said, do I do the pumpkin or do I do the cat? Because either one of them was gonna take me a while. So I decided to go with the pumpkin and kind of keep this whole side pretty much done. And yeah, it did take me a while, but I had some extra stitching time on the day that I devoted. I think I worked it out this week. Each of the 4 whips probably got 2 days worth. Fridays, I don't seem to get much stitching done by the time I tape videos, and Fridays just seem to be a busy day. And I do have studio work to do today. I have an order that has to ship out tomorrow. So I will be working on paper products this afternoon, I think. But that's where we are. And so I decided to do some with the cat, and that goes fast, especially when I gave myself kind of an outline, so then I could just zip through with that. So I definitely want to try to get the cat finished. He's got a big, long, windy tail over here, and then continue to work my way over on that. So this week I chose 2 of my 4 mania starts, Halloween cat, and you'll see Christmas list in a little bit. And then next week I'll go back to Kringles and Halloween, Hello Pumpkin. And then, so these will get a break for next week. And then the last week in June, these will get pulled out again. So that is my cat so far. I'm really enjoying it, having fun stitching it. And again, like I said, I would completely recommend a Satsuma if you haven't done them. You know what I haven't done yet are the bead kits. I know Satsuma has some, and Mill Hill. I think that's something I want to try. I've been looking at a few, maybe like for Christmas. There's one on 1-2-3 Stitch. I think I put it in my wish list. So I might give that a try one of these days and see what it's like. Because I never did that. Even, were they around 30 years ago? I don't even know. Back when I was stitching the first time around, I never did anything like that. So that would be totally new for me. So, you know, got to keep learning, right? The next one is from Stitching with the Housewives. Long May She Wave. I just happened to see on Instagram, Helen D. I think is she East Coast crafter? Maybe? You guys would know better than me because she's been floss tubing a lot longer than I. She posted her piece, but she started actually on this side. I started on this side. She's got the truck done, and I'm a bit jealous about that because that truck is huge. I am nowhere near ready for that yet. This is what I've got so far. This is done on navy blue. Yes, I went away from the solid black, and it is from Garibaldis. Now, I did not check this morning. I know this week that Garibaldis has still put themselves on vacation. They have for, I don't know, maybe the last couple weeks. So I know that they did so to catch up because they were very, very, very behind on orders. So if you're interested, just keep watching. I think they got slammed during this time and things really slowed down. And I think they struggled with communication a little bit, looking at some reviews and some of my own experience. But I know my very first time I ordered from them, I did not have those issues. So I'm hoping that when things get a little bit calmer for them, they will get themselves back in a good place and they'll be open, and if you're interested, you'll be able to order from them. So you know that from last week I talked about I changed the pattern. I'm not doing chickens. So I added an extra flower, and then this flower is a little bit taller than it would have because there would have been a chicken standing here with his tails or feathers or whatever coming out that way. I did not change any colors. That's all the same. I am using DMC. So my goal this week, I was like, oh, I had done the blue last week. So I was like, okay, let me tackle that flag. Well, that flag is big too. I did the red and then the white, and then I needed a break. What I realized though, so I did the red, that it's like, there's about 4 sets in each stripe. And I was making it harder for myself when I did the red. And what I realized afterwards was, well, hello, once you have that done up to where I am now, then just take a strand and just make X's all the way across the stripe. And that was about the length of one of my strands. So I did that with the white, and then I did it with the red, and it was great. Things were going much easier. I wasn't having to worry about, okay, where am I counting here? What am I doing? This one now, this layer of stripe does change a little bit again, because there are some areas of it. It's the one that starts below the blue. There are some parts of it that are 5 X's tall versus 4. But once you get by that one, then the next set of stripes, they're all 4, if I looked at it correctly. So then I'll be able to whiz through again with that once I have that set of stripe finished. And then I'll just grab a strand, go all the way across, and then go to the next one. But what it's nice too is I was finding I would do a strand, and then you know what? I said, let's do some flowers. And then I'd do a strand, okay, let's do some of the words. And I was going back and forth, and it seemed to be, I don't know if faster is the right word, but a bit more enjoyable, so that, sometimes when you have those big blocks of something to stitch, it's great when you want to zone out, but there's only so much zoning out you can do. And then you're kind of like, okay, I need to kind of think again. So that's how I've been approaching it, and I'm enjoying it that way. I got a little nervous because I hadn't originally cut the fabric, which I usually do, and I don't give myself huge borders because I generally don't think I'll need them. But I got a little nervous. I had to count over, and I'm fine. I think on this side, you'll notice on September here, that one I did get significantly nervous because I got a little bit closer to the side than I thought I would. This one I should be fine. I'm obviously fine top and bottom because that's the bottom row right there. So it's not a tall pattern, but it is definitely wider, and that's where you'll get more of, especially with that truck, the size of it. So that's what I have with that one, and I am enjoying it. I was having fun doing the lettering. It sticks out nicely on the blue. I'm liking doing it on the blue fabric. Most of the time I can see the holes pretty well. Every once in a while, when fabric is hand dyed, sometimes some of the holes get a little bit, I don't want to say closed up because that's not the right word, but sometimes it's just a little bit harder to see when it's a dark color. But for the most part, I've been able to see just fine. I do have a chair by a light source by a window, and then I don't know what video it was. It was a few videos ago. Lord and Lady of Stitch Hire. If you're not watching them, they're a lot of fun. They had talked about a little light that they had gotten, and they had a link in their video, maybe like 4 videos ago. I don't know. I don't remember now. But I clicked on the link, gave it a try, looked at it. It wasn't super expensive, and I said, I'll give it a try. Free returns, Amazon, so you try it. It's great. It came in this teeny tiny box, but my husband put it together, and it was no problem. He had no problem with it, and it sits. I was able to put it kind of just a little bit over my head, and it's got like a cool light or a warm light. You can choose, and different levels of how strong the light is, depending on how much light I'm getting from the window. Or yesterday was a rainy, stormy day, so I was getting no light from the window. So I had to have the light on over me if I was stitching, or at night. It's nice, and so I really like it. If I think about it, I will try to link the video where they gave the Amazon link. If I don't and I forget, and you want to know, either leave a comment to remind me, or you can send me an email on the Gmail account below, that's listed below, or even DM me on Instagram, however you want to do it. And just give me a little nudge, because sometimes I forget. If I don't make it on a list, it's suspect if I'll remember. So anyway, that's where I am for Long May She Wave. So September Cottage and Long May She Wave, I will continue doing as whips through the month of June, and then I'm just switching my 4 Christmas projects. Not Christmas, Mania projects. 2 of which are Christmas. Silver Creek Samplers is the last one. Christmas list. Is it called Christmas list? I don't know, I can't see behind right now. I call it that, whether that's the official name or not. I know a lot of you have seen it, have done it, the whole bit. I changed up the pattern, the fabric color that I used though. This was a unnamed fabric from BeStitchMe. I looked at her website and it looks like sea glass. I have to send her an email though, because I was having such trouble getting a good picture of it. I tried, and then I was gonna send her an email with the picture, but it kept blowing out the color. So there's no use if I can't get a good picture of the actual color, there's no use sending her an email because it's not gonna be the right thing. But if I looked at her website, it kind of reminded me of sea glass, but it could be a one-off. I'm not sure. So I'll ask her, and when I do get an answer, I'll let you know. This is where I got. So this one, you know, is made for a goal-oriented person like me. It's pick a row. That's what I want to do for the next week. So last time I had the turkey just about done. I just had the turkey leg to finish. So I was able to, my goal was to finish that row and try to finish the next one as well, woolen sweaters. I was able to do that and even start the following one. I find this a pretty quick stitch. I mean, obviously the words stitch up quickly, and even the little pictures seem to do fine. Now, because I didn't do this in the called for, which is a much more neutral, looks beautiful that way, I had to change some of the DMC colors that I am using. So I did change the car, that is in a little bit of a deeper blue. I definitely had to change the sweater. So the main part of the sweater was charted in 3817, which is a very pretty kind of sea glass green. I did a little bit thinking, okay, there's red and the darker green around it, maybe it'll show up. Not at all. Nope, because it's not completely encased. There are parts of it that go with the fabric, and it just blended right into the fabric. So I pulled out that strand and I grabbed 932 instead, which is bluer rather than green, but I think it looks really cute. I kind of like it, so I'm really happy that I changed it out. And then the other thing I changed so far is the moon and the star. It was stitched for 730, or it was called for 738, which is definitely kind of a beigey sort of color, and that just didn't look like a moon and star to me on this fabric. It does when you look at the picture, but definitely not on this fabric. So I grabbed 743 instead, which it looks like it's exactly the same yellow that you'll see in the reindeer and his bells, but it's not. It's a slightly lighter, brighter yellow. Lighter, I'd say. But I just went through what I had and just of my yellows and just grabbed a yellow that I thought would look good, put it up against the fabric, and I thought that went nicely. So my goal is, I gotta really zoom in, to finish the reindeer row. It says flying reindeer, and then there they've got it switched. They have mistletoe up to 1/2 and candles glowing on the other half. So I don't think I'll be able to do that full row. That's a lot, but maybe half of that row as well. Not this week, but the following week. So that'll get put to the side. And then for July, this is going to be my big Christmas focus piece. I'm starting to think about what I want to do in July, do Christmassy, and I want to do some little ones. So I'm starting to pull some ideas and things and then get flosses. But this, I'm going to put Kringles to the side probably, unless this gets finished in July, and focus on this one. Because I could see this as a finish before Christmas, before before Kringles would get finished. So And I do slightly enjoy stitching this one a little bit more than I do Kringles. Not that I don't enjoy it, it's just different. So this will get the first layer of love in July. Whether I'm calling it Christmas in July, Jolly July, I don't know. I guess they all count, right? So those are my whips for the week. And like I said, I'll continue Long May She Wave in September, and I'll pull out Hello Pumpkin and Kringles. And I don't know if I have any plans for a new start next week. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I guess we'll just play it by ear with that. I've got a lot of different summer patterns that I would love to stitch. And this whole Christmas in July thing, if I commit to that, totally ruins doing the whole beach thing over the summer. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'll do a Christmas July and then every once in a while a beachy Christmassy thing. I don't know. We'll see. Shopping. I don't have much. So if you don't like seeing shopping, you don't have to sit through much. I'll tell you that. I haven't gotten many charts lately. I'm focusing more. I have a pile of charts that I went crazy buying in the beginning. And so I have lots of things that I could stitch. And then I keep my eye out open. Whew. For new stuff and things. And then of course you see somebody stitching something which you wouldn't normally have chosen, and they make it look fantastic. So now you have to stitch it. But for the most part, I've got a lot already. So you'll see, well, not this week, but like in coming weeks, just more fabric. I'm really just concentrating on building up a fabric stash, thinking about what kind of colors I really like using, what I eventually want to have as a lot of the base colors, and just going from there. So this week this is not much. One chart, stitching with the Housewives. I picked up the Santa. It's Jolly Saint Nick and Rudolph. So there's a little Rudolph in the cup. I am debating on what color to stitch it on. I am not stitching it on the black. I am thinking about either a light green, maybe the jade from Picture This Plus. Or if I want to go wild, I'll show you one other thing that I got this week. And then fabrics. I have two fabrics to show you. This one, I had never tried them before. I noticed on Facebook they were having a sale, flash sale. I think they do it every weekend. And I was able to snap one up a couple weekends ago. This is from Silk Weaver. It has no name. You know, it says solo. So obviously it is not a repeat of anything. And it is 18 count, of course. No idea what I plan on stitching this on with, but it was pretty. And so I put my Me Please underneath there, and that came. Looks nice. I mean, it feels good. I've never stitched with Silk Weaver before, so we'll give it a try and see what it feels like. Now, the second one that came is from Color and Cotton. It's my very first Color and Cotton, and this is from the May Fabric of the Month. I am doing 18 count, and I'm doing just the small, just to give it a try. I'd never stitched with Color and Cotton, and I'm doing, because with Brandy at BeStitchMe, I'm doing neutrals, I'm doing the colors version for their Fabric of the Month. So if you do that, I don't know, do they do the same color for all the counts? I assume so, like everything else. But if you don't do neutrals, but you do the colored version of your Fabric of the Month, and you don't want to be spoiled if you haven't gotten it yet, I don't know, you may have already gotten it a long time ago, then look away. But otherwise, this is called Celeste, and again, it's 18 count. Now, I know it's bold, but what would Santa look like on that blue? I know it's kind of crazy, and you're telling me, no, don't. Or maybe some of you are saying, yes. He'd be very bright, but the colors would go. I mean, when you look at the colors, and it's a pretty blue. I just don't know if I want to commit to that strong a blue, or if I want to go with more of the sagey green, which I think would look adorable too. I don't know. What do you think? Am I totally wackadoodle doing it this way? Is that wacky? Too much? Or good? Let me know. You know, now that I've discovered branching out from just the neutrals, which are beautiful, believe me, if you love stitching in neutrals, you do you, and you have a blast with it. And I am not letting go of my vintage country mocha anytime soon because I love it. So there will be stitching on it. But I am loving this whole new world of hand-dyed fabrics and the bright colors. Whew, it's like a kid in a candy store. All right, that's it for shopping. Can you believe it? That's all I got. But I do want to pick a giveaway winner, and then I do have something else to give away for next week. So, and look at that. I'm chatty, and I didn't have much to show you. Maybe I stay on task more when I have a lot more stitching to show. I seem to ramble a bit more when I don't. So this week's giveaway was the new Prairie Schooler, the 2020 Prairie Schooler Santa with the adorable bunnies. And let's see who the winner was. I had asked you guys, what I asked, about your Christmas, were you doing Christmas in July? I love everybody's plans. Everybody has something different, the idea of ornaments, gifts. That was always a lovely one. I'm too intimidated to do that yet, except for my mom. I mean, she's my mom. She's gonna love whatever I give her anyway. But I loved hearing all about that. So thank you for answering and responding. And the winner is Chris Hurtle. Hurtle? I'm sorry, Chris. If you could email me your address, you can, if you look down below, there is a Gmail address. Send me your address and I will send you the Prairie Schooler. Thank you so much for responding to my question. This week's giveaway, you have a little bit of homework afterwards if you win it. I am, in honor of just, instead of Christmas in July, just July and patriotic, I have got an extra pattern of a Bluebird Salute from Luminous Fiber Arts. I have not stitched anything by her yet, but this is on my list. I think this is so cute. I love this. And it looks like a pretty quick stitch. It's a 90 by 74. It's charted in weeks. There's a classic Colorworks on DMC, but she gives all the alternatives. Thank you for that, as a DMC stitcher. And what I would like, well, the homework. So, you know, I have a paper product store and I do all sorts of things like that. And one of my shipping packages that I've always been intimidated to use are the bigger rigid mailers. I have smaller ones that like single cards go in that are fabulous. There's no way the postman, he'd have to really wrench it in order to bend it. And I'm always looking for things that won't bend. So I am going to ship this. It'll go in a nice little plastic thing so that it will stay safe from any elements if it were to get wet. And then I will ship it in here. And so all I would ask is when you get it, if you could then send me an email and let me know, did it get bent along the way at all? Because I'm always afraid to send things in this because I'm afraid that it is a little bit more bendy than the small ones. And I'm always afraid that they're gonna take advantage of that and like bend it. So all I would need to know is how was it when it got to you? Did it make it? Was it okay? And what I would like to know this week, I love these questions, getting to know you guys. So thank you so much for playing along with me. What I'd like to know is, what is your favorite summer activity? Since we are cruising into summertime, and I know this weekend here it's supposed to be beautiful, nice and sunny. Of course, they're talking drought. If it doesn't seem to rain every day, then all of a sudden we're in the middle of a drought. I don't get it. But, so I know they're talking that people are looking to go to the beach and things like that. And I'm still staying home a lot. I don't know. I like my home. I'm comfortable here. But I do have favorite summer activities that when I pull next week, I will talk about. But if you could let me know what your favorite summer activity is, I would love to hear all about what you like doing. Because I really like learning about you guys. We're stitchy friends. We need to know more about each other than just the fact that we all love stitching. So let's learn some more. So that is the question for that. And then I will pick a winner in next week's video. And that is stitching. If you don't want to hear about life stuff, which is small this week, not a lot going on, then have a great day. Life-wise, not too much is going on. Right now as we speak, Meg and my husband Mo are on the road to Bryn Mawr to pick up her, finally pack up her room. she finally got notice that she could go in. She had to pick a time slot in a day and the whole bit. So they're being very strict about how she can get in. They're doing it in one day. That's a 3.5 to 4 hour drive each way from us. And I'm really glad. And she was only allowed to bring one parent, and Mo can carry more than I can. So I'm really glad that it wasn't me, which is, that's horrible. I'm so sorry to them to say that, but I'm kind of glad it's not me driving 4 hours, packing up an entire dorm room, and then driving back. But so that'll be their day. When they left, I said, see you in about 12 hours tonight. So that is what's going on here. She did find out yesterday, it was a big hullabaloo, that she's a college athlete, and they found out yesterday that the NCAA has said that Division III athletes would have an extra week of preseason, meaning that the preseason would start August 10th. Normally they don't have that long, and they don't go back until later on in August because it's field hockey. It's not football, so they're not required to go back so soon. And this year, because of concerns with Corona, classes are not starting until September 8th. So I guess the texts were flying yesterday. We'll be there a whole month ahead of time, and they're not going to let us hang out with each other. And I don't know. Some people have vacations planned, so that could be an issue. I said to Megan, why don't you wait till your coach and the school make the decision? The school may say, hey, the NCAA can say whatever they want. We're not having you back until XYZ date. So as my mother used to always tell me, don't borrow trouble when you're not sure what's going to happen. So that is, our summer's a little obviously up in the air as to when she'd be going back to school. We weren't planning a big vacation this year anyway. And then after what happened, the little vacation we were going to plan kind of went by the wayside. So we don't have to worry about that, but that's just where we're finding there. So I said to her, you've said before you love being home with us, but you're kind of, the 24/7 thing is getting a little old, so you should be happy you're going back. And they're coming home at Thanksgiving, continuing classes, but virtually. So they will be home for good at Thanksgiving, even though the semester will continue, because they don't want people coming and going. So I said, look at the bright side of things. Other than that, nothing with the house to report. Hopefully in a few weeks, I'll be able to tell you some more stuff, and hopefully we'll start some action on that. I don't know, all that obviously got pushed back too because of 2020 issues going on with Corona. I have to obviously stay safe. We couldn't do things and travel, and we still haven't yet. We're doing a lot of things virtually with that, so it's been interesting. But as we get closer, I'm gonna need you guys for a few different things. I'll need your help on making decisions, so get ready. But hopefully again in a few weeks I might be able to have some more news on that. And that's it. We are still just talking here as a family about what's going on in the world, in our country, and we're learning, and we're doing what we can to be the best version of us and for the country and the world that we can be. And that's all. I'm not a very exciting person. I don't have these great experiences and everything that some people do. I hope you are well, my stitchy friends. I am so happy to have seen you again this week, and I love visiting with you every week. Please leave comments and questions, and if you'd like to enter the giveaway, let me know what your favorite summer activity is. Let's chat about that, and until next time, happy stitching.